Android Studio has many keyboard shortcuts that you can use to speed up your programming. As I showed previously, you can learn about all of the IDE's keyboard shortcuts by going to the Help menu and choosing Key Map Reference, and that will open this PDF file in a browser window. There's one set of keyboard shortcuts for Windows and Linux, and another set for Mac OS. I'll show you a few of my favorite keyboard shortcuts, but it's important to understand that there are so many, you just need to go explore them yourself. One of the most common things you might need to do is add comments to your code. You can select some code and then press Command and the / key on Mac or Control and / on Windows. Do it once to comment and do it again to uncomment, so you're toggling the comment characters on and off. When you're coding, you'll see that autocomplete happens pretty much automatically. For example, if I say I want to create a variable that I'll name intent, lowercase, and then I start typing int, I'll see a listing of all classes that are available starting with int. The more I type, the more the list is filtered. And at any point, I can press Enter or Return to insert that code. Now, here's what happens if you place the cursor after some code and then press Control and the spacebar. Once again, you get your autocomplete list. There are circumstances where pressing Enter or Return will insert code, but pressing Tab will replace existing code. Let's say I started typing int here, and I already have the word intent. If I press Enter or Return at this point, I'll get double code. If I do the same thing here and press the Tab key, I'll replace the rest of the line. And that can be real useful when your intention is to fix something that's broken. There are many times where you want to do a quick fix. IntelliJ IDEA and Android Studio call that an intention action. It's very common in Android development to replace literal strings with string resources. You can do this by placing the cursor in any string, then press Alt-Enter on Windows or Option and Return on Mac, and choose Extract String Resource. That will bring up a dialog labeled Extract Resource. Give your resource a name, and all resource IDs are lowercase, no spaces. I'll call it my prompt. And that string is now replaced in your code with the ID r.string and then the resource ID. Notice that that ID is automatically wrapped in a function named getString. In many situations, when you're working with the Android SDK, you don't actually need that. Here's why. I'll place the cursor right after the opening parenthesis of this function. Then I'll press Command-P on Mac or Control-P on Windows. And I'll see a listing of all of this function's signatures. I'm shown that this function can accept either a character sequence, that is a raw string, or a numeric ID. And so in fact here, I can get rid of the call to getString because snackbar.make already can handle the ID on its own. You can easily move code around. Let's say that I had a call to the function printLine. That's println in Kotlin. And I'll just pass in a string of hi from Kotlin. Now let's say I wanted to move that code up. I'll hold down the Alt or Option key and the Shift key together, and then I'll press the up arrow, and I'll be moving the code around within the function. You can also move around entire functions. Place the cursor on the line where the function begins, then hold down Command and Shift on Mac or Control and Shift on Windows, and then press an arrow key, and you'll be moving the entire function or method up or down. To duplicate lines of code, press Command-D on Mac or Control-D on Windows. If you simply place the cursor on one line, you'll duplicate that line, or if you select multiple lines and press that keyboard shortcut, you'll duplicate everything that's been selected. And then to delete lines of code, press Command and the Delete key or backspace on Mac or Control-Y on Windows. These are just a few of the many tricks that are available for working with your code in Android Studio. And again, for some more hints, I recommend looking at the default key map reference that's available from the Help menu.